call our meeting to order. This is a work session of the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Seaside Park in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, held on Thursday, December 19th, 2024, advertised for 7 p.m. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of the meeting for publication in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger on January 5th, 2024. Notice of this meeting of the governing body also has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilmember Anfield?
Present.
Councilmember Condos?
Here.
Councilmember Connor?
Here.
Councilmember Kraft?
Here.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Here.
Council President Wilk?
Here.
Mayor Pearson?
Here.
Thank you.
Our first item on the agenda this evening is somewhat bittersweet. It's a very happy occasion, I know, but it's also an occasion when we will honor the service of one of our most dedicated, longtime employees for the Borough of Seaside Park, Mitch Homer, who's here with us. And I say bittersweet because Mitch has always been a great friend to everyone in Seaside Park, a great friend to all his fellow workers at the Department of Public Works, and indeed to all our visitors and everyone here. It's his hometown, and he gives his all and always has, as does his family. And we honor him and wish him all the best. And we're sorry to lose him in active public service, but who knows, maybe he could contribute a day or two as time goes on. But Mitch, if you could come up. Sure. And it's my honor on behalf of everyone in Seaside Park, and certainly your supervisors who we welcome here as well. Eric and Josh shows their dedication and recognition of your service. They're being here this evening as well. And they stand for really nice. Everyone who's ever worked for the town in the past over many, many years, who's had the honor and privilege working with you. You're a great friend for all of us. And what I have is an official proclamation from the office of the mayor on behalf of all the town council, and indeed on behalf of all our residents, to thank you very, very much. And I'll read it officially into the record. I know this is always a tough meeting for people coming out for holiday season, but they'll get to see it over YouTube as well, and always preserved to thank you for everything you've given to Seaside Park. And I'll read it officially into the record before I present it to you. And it reads, whereas Mitchell Homer has faithfully served the Borough of Seaside Park during his 18-year career, and whereas Mitchell Homer was hired as a laborer one for the Department of Public Works in 2006 and was promoted to maintenance repairer in 2009 and to senior maintenance repairer in 2013, and whereas Mitchell Homer has been an invaluable member of the Department of Public Works during his tenure, with a focus on high-quality craftsmanship, pride, and tradition, from the skillful construction of pavilions on the boardwalk to the steadfast quality repair upon Seaside Park's borough beaches, buildings, and grounds. And whereas Mitchell Homer has passed on valuable skills and knowledge to his co-workers in the Department of Public Works, and whereas throughout his personal life and time of employment, Mitchell Homer has been dedicated to the safety and betterment of the borough of Seaside Park, the town he grew up in, its Public Works Department, and all the residents and visitors of the community. And whereas the governing body of the Borough of Seaside Park, on behalf of its citizens, wishes to express its sincere appreciation to Mitchell Homer for his years of hard work and dedicated service during his tenure, now I therefore, John A. Peterson Jr., Mayor of the Borough of Seaside Park, on behalf of the entire Borough Council and all the citizens of the Borough of Seaside Park, do hereby present this proclamation to Mitchell Homer in honor and recognition of his faithful and dedicated service to the Borough of Seaside Park, with our best wishes in his retirement and happiness in the future. Now be it further proclaimed that the Borough of Seaside Park proudly declares Friday, December 20th, 2024, as Mitch Homer Day throughout the Borough of Seaside Park. We haven't decided yet on what that entails.
Thank you.
You guys want to say a word or two, or?
It's been 18 years of nothing but nonstop fun, right, Mitch?
Oh, yeah.
So, get a picture.
Yeah.
On that
If you
side.
can get a picture of us.
Sure.
I don't know how I became the official photographer, but I'm making sure.
Well, official town.
Because Alex doesn't have his camera.
Yeah, where's Alex? You want to?
Yeah.
That's all right. What's that?
Thank you. All right.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Even got the borough seal behind you. Beautiful.
Oh. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, John. Thank
Yep,
you.
thanks, Mr.
Thanks.
Thank
Don't be a stranger.
Someone else.
We hope so. All right.
Okay, moving right along.
One more picture?
Another photo op?
Another opportunity.
Another opportunity.
There you go.
Just doing business meetings. This is once in a lifetime. We do this every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just quick, real quick.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's good, Josh.
No, that's
All
all
good,
right.
guys. All good. Absolutely.
Come all the way over. Here, you hold.
It's your photo.
That's it.
Yours. Make sure it's held up right.
Two old guys.
Very nice.
Very nice, guys. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, Josh, you too, my friend.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
guys.
Nice, have a Merry Christmas. You got it.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss the guidelines and parameters
Yeah.
of what that means.
For
I think
children.
you have to stand by the flagpole for 5 hours.
Yeah, we're working.
Sign autographs.
The first item for discussion is discussion of draft language for lightning detection signage. And I know this crossed the desk of our attorney, and he had a good suggestion to add to it. I don't know, I can ask Steve for his thoughts and comments. We have the draft here. I know.
Yeah, I'd like the sign, I just thought maybe at the top, if they could put those little yellow triangles with the lightning thing in it. And that way,
Lightning bolts, and
that way, so when they
yeah.
see it, they know it's a lightning sign.
Or to fill in these areas.
Yeah, right up in here,
Yeah,
they have those
that's-
yellow triangles with the black lightning bolt in them.
Yeah.
The
Maybe they
ones on the
can-
Noah sign.
Yeah, they put those on the top of this, that way they know right away it's a lightning, everything is symbols nowadays.
Yeah.
People, they're all this writing, people won't even look at it half the time, they see a symbol, maybe that'll attract them to read the sign. That's just a thought.
That fills in the sign on the top too.
So it's-
Yeah. We have space, might as well use it. That's perfect.
Does anyone else have any thoughts, comments about the verbiage or anything of the sign?
No, I mean, we had seen it in advance, so I think it's good. I'm glad we're putting it up. I think it brings more attention that we have it, so people actually know it exists. And I know Mr. Zavarsky would probably want to kick me, but that's why I'm on this side of the table. But can we consider again, as we go into the next season, I know we had said just keeping it during operating hours.
You
But
can always make
we-
recommendation from the
Well,
committee.
I think we've made the recommendation that at least during the beach season, that we keep them on 24 hours, only because we had brought that up before, that we have, after beach hour activities, whether it be kite night or I don't know, there's all kinds of things that go on there. Yoga in the morning, fishing tournaments before the beach opens, so I don't know if we have to bring that back up through the rec committee.
Probably.
And then make a
I think one of the issues was,
change.
do they want strobes and sirens at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, when most people are not on the streets.
strobe lights work after a certain time, right?
Well,
Isn't that
that's
the plan?
currently, yeah, and you could still make it that after a certain hour, just be the lights,
Yeah.
but keep, I think reasonable hour, I mean, I think I forget now, right now it turns off at
Beach hours.
beach hours,
Beach
not even
hours.
until 8 PM.
No.
So if we could keep the sound until, I mean, there's other noises going on, I don't think it's obtrusive to anybody, as long as it's not past like reasonable bedtime, and you're talking about summertime. So can we put something together and bring that back in, like,
Yeah,
I
we
guess,
can
the
always
new
do
year
that,
as
yeah.
a
Let's get
updated
together with our
proposal?
committee and then we'll
Okay.
zero in on some
Okay.
particular times, because I feel the same way as you do. We need to expand the times a little bit from what
Right.
we had last year.
Right, and I think originally we talked about like all year long, but I think we now have some of the data that we've been collecting.
Yeah,
The likelihood of these lightning storms off season, I'll say,
Right.
winter time, are very low, so you probably don't need it then, but at least during the summer when everybody's here, I think more hours is better.
And even though currently it's not, the lightning detection system is still operating.
Right.
It's just not emitting any sounds or lights, so at the end of the winter, we'll be able to gather all that data and look at that as well to see how many times to try and zero in on what good dates might be.
the calendar dates and the hours of operation.
Yes, we're
Two
still collecting
things
data, even though
we
they're not
gotta-
going off now.
but
Yeah,
The data will
I
be
guess we'll
good.
have some, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you.
And as far as the verbiage, the wording is sufficient for everyone's purposes?
Oh, yeah,
It's
we
in,
looked at a couple, this
Yeah.
was the best one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The next item is discussion of the planning board recommendations to increase application and escrow fees and also to implement regulations for standby generators. And this had been on the agenda on several occasions on the planning board. I know Marty and I are on the board, and it has been something that's raised issues in terms of questions coming to the zoning officer and the construction office, what other towns have done and how to address the situation. So I don't know.
So we need to update our fees. The fees are just too low to correspond with the expenditures actually is, and the fees have to be paid up to date before the application comes to the board.
Right.
So that's something that needs to be addressed. And also, for the standby generators, we do not currently have anything on our code to incorporate the standby generators, so we'd like to have that addressed. We'd like to have it looked at the same as the air conditioning units, with the same setbacks. We know there's regulations for what type of generator could be placed where for fire code and for the specs for the unit itself, but we have nothing on borough ordinance that even addresses standby generators
In the town.
in the town.
I know, because when, I just recently put mine in the last 2 years, and every time they were getting ready to put it in, some of the rules had changed, not town ones, but fire ones. And we kept having to figure out where to put it back in or whatever.
You're
So,
correct.
yeah.
There is no rules now, Marty?
We do not.
Not
we
10.
Always look, backup generators, they basically use the same ordinance that's used for air conditioning units,
The condensers.
condensers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But every specific generator can only be located in a specific location also. It's a variable.
That's pretty so far from the window, so far from our door.
Is it ready for you?
Combustible surface.
Yeah.
And a couple of things they want to change it up and down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do that for New Year's
Yeah,
Eve.
okay.
For your reorg, you might,
Yeah, maybe.
after.
Does everyone want to have this move on? Obviously, the next meeting is the reorg. It would be the January 16th? Is that what we said is the next meeting thereafter?
Yeah.
Is it ready for a draft of, have Steve and Barry look at it for drafting something?
Yes.
I think, I mean,
We've also moved forward with it in in January.
It came up at the planning board meeting, obviously, the chairman is an engineer, and there was an attorney there, and said our fees are well on the low side in terms of other towns. So
Yeah.
so maybe we'll have that, we can look at it for that meeting in January. The next item is on for consideration. It's a corrective action plan for the 2024 annual report of audit. It's listed as Resolution 224-349 at the regular meeting, and that came about as certain recommendations through the auditor's office as mandated. So I don't know if anyone has any comments further at this juncture.
No, I read the corrective action. It's,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, in general, it was all related to, timely reconciliation
Right.
of the accounts, which is being corrected, so I think we're fine.
And the next is discussion of an agreement for the provision of camera equipment and hosting streaming services from Coastal Camera Network LLC. That too is listed for consideration, Resolution 224-359, is it 358 at the regular
358,
meeting? Anyone have background on that? I know we previously, Jeff Camera had given us.
This one will replace the Earth Cam. So it's a different service. With Earth Cam, we have to buy the equipment, plus we pay Earth Cam $250 a month to host it. With this service, they own the equipment, they take liability for it, and we're going to pay them around $50 a month.
yeah.
And it's on our website right now. We've been trialing it for a month or more, and it's a much better quality camera.
Picture's excellent.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I saw it. It is very nice, and we're going to have an additional camera. Did I read that?
Yeah,
Along the
perhaps.
base,
In the bay,
Yeah.
but at a place undecided.
Yeah. So we'll have two instead of the one for, yeah, which I think is cool.
Yeah, because residents have voiced that they would like to have a camera like where the Osprey Nest is. They see the Osprey Nest down by the marina, sunsets. So,
Yeah, the
so-
sunset, yeah.
Yeah, so this agreement would contemplate that as well. We're not paying for it now, but they're aware that's something that we want to do, so.
It's just as we exceed the bandwidth,
Put it on Marty's roof.
1 terabyte, and for another, basically another $100, I think we
On your roof,
get
we
a
can't
double.
crowd it. Everybody.
I just had one question on this. I think it's great too. I've seen the video. I think it's very, very good. The top of the second page, and I guess it's more a question to Steve. I don't know. I'm just, looking at contracts before, but we're saying, like, so we have the rights to it through the stuff that we're putting on our webpage, right? That's where we're showing it. But they also have the rights to any of the video taken, and it's saying that in the event that they should implement some membership program with paid access, blah, blah, blah. Does any of that affect us or concern us?
No, in fact, I negotiated through our administrator, Karen, that if they do that, that we have, the borough, its agents and employees have full access at no charge to view on their website what they're
How
showing,
they're using it?
how they're using it, and any content for any advertising,
Okay.
to make sure that it's not against our policies or procedures.
Okay.
So I negotiated very kind of free, no charge for us to be part of that membership and view what they're putting on their website from our streaming camera.
Okay. All right, that's fine. That was the only part that I saw that was like, okay, they're making money off of the video that we're essentially paying them.
Well, you would
But-
kind of wonder why someone would pay to look at something that's free on their, it's like EarthCam, it's free.
Right.
Why would pay to access their website to see what otherwise is free everywhere else?
Yeah.
I don't quite understand, but then again,
There's a lot of people
There's a
making
lot
a
of-
lot of money out there on the
exactly, on the
internet
internet.
doing
That's
all
exactly
kinds
right.
of things.
it's exactly right.
They probably have it set up where you see several,
Yeah,
many
well,
different
yeah,
features.
yeah. Well, you hit EarthCam, you'll see all over the world, and they're all
Okay.
free.
That's the only
I mean,
question
from the
I
Eiffel
had.
Tower to the this, to the, I mean, it's, Abbey Road has their own for free. watch people, walk across and taking pictures.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
oh, yeah. So,
Okay.
whatever, but yeah, we have free access to the site though, to monitor content, because you're going to put advertising on it, and we have to make sure it's nothing inappropriate for a
Right, 'cause it said it could be
municipality.
whatever,
Inappropriate for a
but that wouldn't be on
municipality.
ours. That would
I think it's just on their
the
regular,
page
I think it's
and-
on their website, it's just on their website.
Free access to their website.
Correct, we're going to have free access to the website.
And I just also want to point out, as Councilman Kraft said, that we get 1,000 gigabytes for this $49 a month, and if we exceed that, it's an extra $10 from
10%.
But what we've done with the company is we're limiting that to, it's either a minute and a half or 2 minutes, so people can leave it open and stream, so it won't be going on, like, for example, a store can't have it on all day, just watching the Seaside Park Beach, eating up all of our bandwidth. So it's going to be limited to, I believe it's 2 minutes, and then it shuts down, and people will have to reboot it if they want to watch it again.
Mhm.
So it just can't be constantly running in the background somewhere that we end up paying for more bandwidth.
Very interesting.
Mhm.
Very good.
People want to sleep to it, it's the ocean, right? It's calming. Next thing you know, people
Right,
have it
you
on.
see all new ordinances
Seriously.
popping up.
It's a problem.
Buy a house in the ocean.
People could embed it in their own personal videos,
Right.
say they live there.
There you go.
The next item is discussion of an agreement to purchase marina software from ShoreLogic LLC. That too is listed for consideration as Resolution 2024-359 at the regular meeting tonight. Any background on?
I was going to say, we're getting it, the person that had been maintaining it, and actually, I guess, wrote the software and has been maintaining it over the years, has changed jobs, so we can no longer be associated with it. So he has to, if we wanted to keep on using it, we have to buy it outright, which we will be doing for $2,500. Basically, for that, he walks away from it. He gives us access to all the source code and all the binaries and all of the other notes and documentation for building the software. So in theory, we should be able to maintain it ourselves and, make changes ourselves. And we won't have to pay anybody. The $2,500 is what we had been paying, I believe, yearly, just for maintenance.
For the maintenance.
So.
It was a pretty reasonable price to now
Oh,
own.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this was the last piece of the IT that ShoreLogic supported for us. They also did our website, and they also did our badge sales, so we migrated our website to a new website provider. We've migrated our badge sales to Square. There just wasn't a comparable marina management application that we could find, and we were under the gun because this had to be done by December 31st. So that's why we had to buy this from Jeff Cameron.
That's it.
Thank you. No, Jeff did a great job for many, many years here. It goes back. And unfortunately, he has a non-compete clause as he's moved up to this
Yeah.
big job. Might have been good if we had an asterisk, one former customer, but. So. The next item is discussion of a professional engineering service proposal stated December 12th, 2024 for the 14th Avenue Shoreline Stabilization Project. That's provided by CME Associates, listed for consideration again on this evening's regular agenda, 224-360. And that's something we've been using, what you would call stopgap or Band-Aid or solutions, and I know Eric and his men were working on it even this week as it came up in discussion at a recent meeting, and they've shored it up as best possible, but this is something that we've needed for some time, and this will have an engineer's hand in it with these are the gabions and the other stabilization work.
And the engineering cost for this is not to exceed $16,000.
Yeah, we need a permanent fix, there's no two ways about it. I
Hmm.
mean, this has been,
We have a permit for this already.
yes,
Yeah, this,
and we have a permit for it.
yep. Anything else on that one from anyone? The next is discussion of a proposal from our planner, Kendra Veely, to perform a vacant land analysis. That's listed for consideration, Resolution 224-361 at the regular meeting as well. And that, too, has a cap not to exceed the $4,500 amount.
I might not have read it, but what is the date that just had that done by Karen? Because that one has like a short window,
It's the end
right?
of January.
Before the end of January.
Okay.
January
That's clear on
31st. The Fair Housing
somewhere I
Act
didn't see it on the-
proposal. Correct.
First,
Can you
yeah.
That's
explain
correct.
to me what that is? What's a vacant land analyst?
Under the old Council on Affordable Housing, COA, it's now the Fair Housing Act, and the Fair Housing Act has put out their proposals for every municipality as to how many units they need to have under the Fair Housing Act, and to order to determine the number of units you may need to have, they are requiring a vacant land analysis as part of the calculation as to how many Fair Housing Act units, in this case Seaside Park, will be obligated to have under the Fair Housing Act.
But the land that Seaside Park owns is considered vacant.
Well, that's what we're doing, we're gonna do a vacant land analysis to see what vacant land is present in Seaside Park.
Right.
All vacant land,
An official analysis, I think we were given like.
have to.
Yeah, we were given like, under the formula, we would have to provide 85.
Let's not go into
Yeah.
the numbers yet.
But,
We don't know yet.
yeah,
There's a whole proposal by the New Jersey League of Municipalities
Yeah.
for an amendment to push it through the legislature to change numbers, so it's a bit of a mad dash at this point.
Yeah.
But we have to do our diligence and work under the act.
All right, so she'll complete it by that due date.
She has
That's
to.
really my question. Okay, I didn't see the date that said delivery, but I knew we had the date that we had discussed. Okay.
Anything else on that one, council?
Thank you.
Anyone else on the council have any other work session items? Hearing nothing, I'll go into the audience if there are any public comments on any work session items. If anyone has them, if they could give their name and address into the record. Mike?
Mike Spadafino, 59th Avenue, Seaside Park. I have a couple of questions now as we've gone through this. The first one is, if you don't mind, I would appreciate if you could read for me the preliminary lightning wording that you guys are considering.
Would you like to see it? We can read it. Attention, Seaside Park is equipped with a lightning detection system. If siren sounds and/or strobe light is on, please leave the beach. Take appropriate action to ensure safety. Stay in the car or seek shelter indoors. The system is not an absolute protection. Please use common sense and follow instructions.
Great, I just wanted to know that. Second thing, have you considered moving on away from the Shore Logic to another provider? Just to tell you a story, I had a practice. I had somebody that was providing a computer work for my billing system. I did the same thing that you are planning on doing, where I bought the system because he was moving on and shutting down. I bought it whole, like you are going to do, with a promise that he would continue to be available for administration if something happened. And I did buy it, and it worked great for 3.5 years. Then all of a sudden, there was some kind of glitch. It said, call administrator, and I couldn't get him. And it cost me a lot of money to get somebody to go into that system and get all of my data out to put onto another billing system. So I'm just telling you this as a warning. When you take possession of something like this, when they're going out of business, you are running a risk of getting hung up. I don't know how much it would cost to move on to another system or how soon you could do it. But holding on to this for $2,500 for a period of time is not a totally bad idea, but you should consider really replacing it because in the long run, you may get stuck.
And we're continuing to look at marina operations management software. We've reached out to, I think it was 17 different marinas, 17 or 18, to see what they're using. But again, we're up against a clock, and our priorities were the website, which we migrated first, our badge sales, which we migrated next, and we couldn't find a provider within this time window. So, but it's valuable to our marina, and it's teed up for 2025, so it gives us a little more time to continue to look.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you my story. And the last thing, do these consideration of vacant land, does that include any properties that already have buildings on them, or is it just land?
Vacant land,
Only land?
unimproved.
Okay. Just a little short story, South Brunswick, next town over from us, under this ruling, were expected to put in 1,200 affordable housing units, and they decided to contest it in court. Happened to have a judge that was sympathetic to the Affordable Housing Act, and he'd said that he would reevaluate it, and then he turned around and said, "You're right, I made a mistake. You need to put in 2,400 affordable housing units." So just be cautious.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Any other public comments on work session items? Yes, Tom?
Tom Joseph, 704 South Bayview Avenue. I got a quick look at that language that you held up there, Gina, and the thing I did not see on it is any mention of this system is only going to operate over a very specific time frame and calendar date. Doesn't that sign imply that the system is there 24 hours a day, and if I read that sign at 2 in the morning, in the middle of a beach day in June or July, and I see lightning off in the distance and the system isn't going off, isn't my family going to be able to sue you people all blazes if I get struck by lightning and die? I mean, I think you need to think about that, unless I'm completely wrong. And I'm sure there's wording you could put on to cover that. But without that, isn't it? I mean, I get you where I'm coming from. When that poor man got killed, there was news coverage. I learned about it on CNN. And what I learned from CNN is Seaside Park was installing a lightning detection system, implying it was going to be there momentarily. Nobody told CNN that I believe it was like 7 o'clock in the evening when that poor man was struck by lightning, this system was never going to operate. It wasn't going to solve his problem at all. But there's a lot of people out in the world that saw the same CNN thing that I did, and they're going to think, we have the system. And that sign's just going to accentuate that. So think about that before you settle on a final wording. I also have a couple of comments on the 14th Avenue shoreline stabilization system. How long has it taken to get to this point? Do we actually have any kind of plan that we're following here? So let me ask a simple question. How much is it going to cost to reach the end of this project and say we're done? And when is the date that we're going to reach the end of this project and say we're going to be done? I don't need absolutes, but isn't there a projected cost and a projected completion date? Can anybody tell me anything even remotely?
Well, you know the engineering cost, which was mentioned today.
That's to draw a bid package to go out to get bids. That doesn't include the cost of doing the work that's going to be bid.
As I was about to say, we had gotten from Earl Construction a cost of around $70,000 that we had gotten earlier this year. And we were taken back by that cost. So now we're looking to see if we can better that.
When's this project going to be complete?
Well, we have to go out to bid once the engineering part of it is done, then we go out to bid. Part of this engineering cost includes construction monitoring, for example. So once a bidder is picked, CME, the firm, would then do all of the engineering monitoring and the bidding.
I'm not asking you to develop a plan here on the
Well,
spot.
we already have a
I'm just
plan, I
trying
just
to
can't
point
give you a
out
timeframe.
that if you had a plan that was in place, that plan would have a completion date on it.
Tom, it's impossible for us to give you a date right now till we get estimates coming in saying this is what is needed, this is what's going to happen, and by April 14th, it should be done. I mean, we could just throw dates
God,
at
if
you.
I had that
But it's
view
not
of the
gonna-
world
Well-
throughout my entire career, I would be an impoverished, never be an engineer anymore because I would have been fired so many times.
Okay.
All you have to do
Thank you.
is lay out all of the steps and project a date. It may not actually happen, but if it's impossible, then it's never going to happen. And with that attitude, you won't ever have a
I didn't
plan.
say it was
And-
impossible.
And I will die
I said
decades
we can
before
give you a
the
date when we
Bayfront
have one.
flooding
That's it.
project will be
We can give you a
completed.
date when we have one.
Decades.
When we have one, we can give you a date. I'm not just going to throw dates on the wall.
Any
And you'll
other,
be the first one to complain that it's not done by the date we give you, that you're asking for, so.
any other public comments on any work session items? Yes, sir.
I'm going to say one more thing. You know my name, you know where I live. When you have a plan, you project the plan, you show it to people, you show it to management. Here your management is the citizens of Seaside Park, and you tell them, here's our plan, here's what we're doing, and look, we marched to this step and we discovered something new, and we've now made a change to the plan. Instead, you hide it, you never have a plan, and you never quote progress. Where's the Bayfront flooding mitigation public meetings that should happen on a regular basis to tell people what's happening and what's changing? It just isn't happening.
Any other public comments on any work session items? Hearing none, I would close the public portion and entertain a motion from council to adjourn the work session for a few moments and then begin the regular.
Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Amity.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call?
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Council President Wilk?
Yes.
Commissioner Prue?